In the last class, we have seen these things. We'll look at a few more applications of equilibrium criterion this time. Better note textbook uses a particular formula of any particular case. We need to derive the equation for critical clearing angle and also for critical clearing time every time, depending upon the situation. So now I will show you how to determine the critical clearing angle for a particular case. So now what I am doing is I am considering this is in continuation with the thing which we have learned yesterday. Considering a generator is connected to infinity bus through a transmission line. Through a transmission line, a fault has occurred. The fault has occurred and is cleared after some time. This is what we have done yesterday. So what we have done better, we are taking a particular generator and we have employed a transmission line and we are connecting it to some load. So we are feeling that there is a fault which has occurred at this point. So initially, the mechanical power will be somewhere here. This is the mechanical power and this was the electrical power. Isn't it? This is what we have discussed yesterday. The same case study I am considering again. So this is the electrical curve. This is PE, this is PM, and this value is P max. So initially both electrical and mechanical power were same, neglecting losses, and the system was operating delta naught దగ్గర ఆపరేట్ అవుతుంది. సడన్ గా ఫాల్ట్ జరిగింది. ఫాల్ట్ జరిగేసరికి ఆపరేటింగ్ పాయింట్ ఇనిషియల్ గా ఏ, సడన్ గా ఏమైందంటే ఇట్ హస్ కమ్ డౌన్ టు బి. దిస్ ఇస్ మై ఆపరేటింగ్ పాయింట్. సో ఫాల్ట్ అలాగే కంటిన్యూ అవుతుందిరా, బికాస్ ద ఫాల్ట్ ఇస్ కంటిన్యూయింగ్ యాజ్ లాంగ్ యాజ్ ఫాల్ట్ ఈస్ దర్. ఫాల్ట్ ఉన్నంతసేపు పిఈ ఏమవుతుంది అన్న జీరో, పిఎం ఎగ్జిస్ట్. సో వాట్ ఈస్ యాక్సిలరేటింగ్ పవర్ బేటా? పిఎం మైనస్ పిఈ. సో దిస్ ఇస్ పాజిటివ్ బికాస్ పిఈ జీరో కాబట్టి పిఎం ఎగ్జిస్ట్ అవుతుంది కాబట్టి యాక్సిలరేటింగ్ పవర్ ఇస్ పాజిటివ్. యాక్సిలరేటింగ్ పవర్ పాజిటివ్ ఉంది అంటే ఆటోమేటిక్ డెల్టా అవుతుంది. డెల్టా విల్ స్టార్ట్ ఇంక్రీజ్. సో డెల్టా విల్ కంటిన్యూ టు ఇంక్రీజ్ till you clear your fault. Assuming that I am clearing fault, C is the instant of clearing fault. No fault clear cheyakapote, delta will be going on increasing. But I feel that at point C, delta has reached this particular value. I am taking it as delta 1. And at this point, I have cleared my fault. So fault clear చేయగానే ఇమ్మీడియట్ గా నా ఆపరేటింగ్ పాయింట్ ఏమవుతుందన్నా ఎట్ దిస్ పర్టికులర్ పాయింట్ డెల్టా 1 ఇస్ మై యాంగిల్. సో ఇమ్మీడియట్ గా ఏమవుతుందిరా, డెల్టా 1 కి ఎంతైతే యాంగిల్ ఉంటుందో సో ఇమ్మీడియట్ గా ఈ విల్ బి పి మ్యాక్స్ ఇంటూ సైన్ డెల్టా 1. ఇప్పటిదాకా జీరో ఉంది ఎందుకంటే ఫాల్ట్ ఉంది కాబట్టి. బట్ ఒకసారి ఫాల్ట్ క్లియర్ చేయగానే నార్మల్ పొజిషన్కి వచ్చేస్తుంది. ఇనిషియల్ వాల్యూ డెల్టా 1 కాబట్టి సో పి మ్యాక్స్ డెల్టా 1. సో it will jump down to this particular point. This is my operating point D. Why this has happened? At point C, the fault has been cleared. So immediately my electrical power has moved onto this curve, electrical curve, and it is settled down at D. And at here D, it continues to experience oscillations before finally settling down to some value, preferably A value, mostly we say. But see, during this region, it is experiencing acceleration. So whatever the power which is there in the system, now it is to be vented out. So what happens? It continues to move ahead because of the inertia. So I will take it as E. Maximum value of this E point will be this one. Okay. So this will be the maximum point of E. So I am taking it as here itself. If you want, you can. If you anybody refers it to the maximum point, then you consider this is the maximum point of E. Okay. So I'll be taking E here, or if you want it as a maximum, I will take E here. So this entire area is exclusive for deceleration purposes, where the machine will decelerate before finally settling down to some point. So whatever the acceleration it has gained, it will try to decelerate before settling down. So now, between delta naught to delta 1, what is the mechanical curve? See, mechanical curve is same. This is the mechanical curve. Okay. This is the mechanical curve. It remained constant. Whereas electrical curve, if you see, I will draw it with a red pen. This is electrical curve. Initially, it was this point, right? But later on, what happened? It dropped down to 0, stayed at 0. Again, it moved back to this place. Again, it started experiencing the oscillation till the maximum point of E. Okay. See, this red color indicates the electrical curve, whereas this black mark indicates the mechanical curve. So, for system to be critically stable, this area, decelerating area, must be large enough so that the machine will lose out energy which it has gained here. Okay. So, what is the critical thing for stability? I have already told you the critical thing is this is A1, because this is the area between mechanical and electrical curve during acceleration, and during deceleration, this is electrical curve, this is mechanical curve, so this is A. This is A1, this is A. So as long as this area is decelerating area is higher than acceleration area, your system will be stable. Worst case, at least D must be equal to U. This is the condition for critically stability. So now, if I assume the critically stable, the worst condition, what is the worst condition beta? Assuming that A1 is equal to A2, and this is the maximum area. So this particular point, which I am mentioning as delta 1, it is to be counted as delta CR. Okay, critically clearing angle. Now this point I am referring it to as delta 2. Or if you are doing for the maximum, you can refer in textbooks, it will be referred as delta max also. So delta naught, delta CR, and delta maximum. Okay. Let us suppose if you do have a limitation, the delta should not exceed 120 degrees. Let us suppose 120 degrees. So this will be your delta 2, which will be your maximum value. But I don't have any limitations here, so I have gone to up to this value. Okay. So in this case, how will you compute A1 and A2, guys? A1 is just like a rectangle because these two are two parallel lines. So I'll take as a rectangular one, or else you can go with the integration from delta naught to delta 1. Mechanical power was Pm, electrical power was Z. Isn't it? Whereas A2, it is electrical curve, is sinusoidal curve. So it is P max sine delta minus mechanical power was a constant one, which was Pa. So equate these two, and you can use your own equation. So what I can get? Delta naught and delta 2 is equal to pi. You can use this one also. So from that you can calculate delta CR. This is what we have done yesterday. So now we will move on to one more problem. Now I am considering say there are two parallel lines. This is my generator. This is line 1. This is line 2. Okay. I am considering that there are two lines now. Okay. Assuming that this value is X, this value is X. Both are having a reactance of X, and assuming that its value is E and its value is V at an angle of 0, this is E at an angle of delta. And the two lines, see, the case study is transmission, a generator employing double circuit line. This is called as a double circuit line because you are employing two lines, two transmission lines, two similar lines. For this case, how to apply equal area criterion if any fault has occurred in the system. So normally, case 1, pre-fault. So pre-fault, what will be the power, active power beta? P is equal to P max time delta. But here P max, what is P max beta? E into V by what is the, there are two parallel lines, right? So it will be 2x. Sorry. It will be x by 2 into sine delta. See, its value is 2V by x sine delta. So this is the magnitude of the maximum point of your electrical source. So this is pre-fault. Now assuming a fault has occurred on one transmission line and it is taken off from source. ఇంత ముందు ఒకటే ట్రాన్స్మిషన్ లైన్ ఉంది రానన్న, దాని మీద ఫాల్ట్ జరిగితే టోటల్ ఎలక్ట్రికల్ పవర్ 0 అయింది. బట్ ఇక్కడ ఒక లైన్ మీద ఫాల్ట్ జరిగితే ఇంకో లైన్ కంటిన్యూల్గా ఇట్ విల్ బి ప్రొవైడింగ్ లోడ్. బట్ ఈవి బట్ సిన్స్ ఓన్లీ వన్ లైన్ విల్ బి దర్, ఓన్లీ ఒక లైన్ మీద మాత్రమే ఫాల్ట్ అయింది. సో ఓన్లీ ఇంకో లైన్ ఉంటుంది. సో ఇది సర్వీస్ లోన్స్ తీసేసిన one line will be there and its reactance is only X. See, the power is being transmitted because of one transmission line. But see, the maximum value of power has decreased by 50%. Earlier it was 2 EV by X. Now it is EV by X. Why? Because a fault has occurred now. Fault జరగనంత వరకు ఇది ఎలక్ట్రికల్ ఫాల్ట్, fault జరిగిన తర్వాత ఇది ఎలక్ట్రికల్. Understood? So I am assuming that the fault has occurred at the end of the line. Okay, fault has occurred at the end of the line. Okay, so now how this is going to be implemented now, I will show you. Now you can see I am taking it as mechanical part. This is my mechanical curve, Pm. And before fault, my power used to be on this way. Its value was, what was its value? 2 EV by X. So this was the power curve, electrical curve, pre-fault. But during fault also there was a power curve, but the magnitude was only EV by X. This is also electrical curve, but this is during fault. This is during fault. And the fault has occurred at one end of the transmission line. One end of one transmission line. So see now how it is to be implemented now. So first initial ga na ఇది post during fault anna. So initial ga నాకు point ఎక్కడ ఉంటుందిరా operating point. This is my operating point A. Because this is pre-fault, this is my operating point A. Sudden ga fault జరిగిందిరా. So my operating point comes down to B. Okay. So sudden ga fault జరిగింది. And if you carefully observe in this one, fault జరిగినంత మాత్రాన నాకేమన్నా పవర్ ఏమన్నా are you able to see? Yeah. See. Fault జరిగినంత మాత్రాన నాకు పవర్ లోడ్కి డెలివరీ అవటం ఆగలేదు. పవర్ ఈజ్ బీయింగ్ స్టిల్ డెలివర్డ్ బట్ ఎట్ ఎ రెడ్యూస్డ్ వాల్యూ. సో ఇక్కడ చూడండి నా పాయింట్ ఏ ఇది. ఓకే. ఫాల్ట్ జరిగిన తర్వాత నా పవర్ ఎలక్ట్రికల్ పవర్ జీరోకి వస్తుందా లేకపోతే దీని మీదకి వచ్చి అవుతుంది? Should I consider this point or should I consider this point? Because during fault, this is my power which is being transferred over the transmission line. Isn't it? So earlier case lo నేను ఇది తీసుకున్నాను ఎందుకంటే there was no power flowing in the circuit. See, this was the earlier case. Fault జరిగితే ఇది మొత్తం క్లోజ్ అయిపోతుంది, లోడ్కి పవర్ లేదు. సో అందుకని నేను ఏం చేశాను, జీరోకి తీసుకొచ్చాను. బట్ ఇక్కడ అట్లా లేదు. Fault జరిగితే అదర్ లైన్ వాజ్ కేపబుల్ ఆఫ్ డెలివరింగ్ పవర్ బట్ ఇట్స్ రెడ్యూస్డ్ వాల్యూ. ఒకటే లైన్ ఉంది కాబట్టి సగం పవర్ వస్తుంది. సో దట్స్ వై డోంట్ కన్సిడర్ దిస్ పాయింట్ యాజ్ బి. ఓకే, బెటర్ యూ కన్సిడర్ దిస్ పాయింట్ యాజ్ అండర్స్టాండ్. దిస్ ఈస్ ద పాయింట్ ఆఫ్ బి. దిస్ ఈస్ ఏ, దిస్ ఈస్ బి. సో నౌ హియర్ బికాస్ ఆఫ్ యాక్సిలరేషన్ మెకానికల్ కి ఎలక్ట్రికల్ పవర్ కి తేడా ఉంది కాబట్టి the machine will be experiencing acceleration. It should settle down here. This must be the final point C. But because of acceleration, it will be moving to somewhere around here and tries to come back and finally settling down at E. See the curves now. So I'll show you again. This is the mechanical curve, right? This is the initial point, pre-fault. Because of the fault, it has shifted to point B and it is operating on second curve itself. So, ఇది ఎక్కడికి రావాలిరా? మెకానికల్ ఈ కర్వ్ మీదనే తిరుగుతుండాలి అండ్ ఈ పాయింట్కి ఈ కర్వ్కి మెకానికల్ పవర్కి ఇంటర్సెక్ట్ అయితే స్టేబుల్ పాయింట్ వస్తుంది. సో ఇక్కడికి జంప్ అయింది. ఈ కర్వ్ మెకానికల్ కర్వ్ని ఎక్కడ ఇన్సెక్ట్ చేస్తుంది? ఇక్కడ. సో ఇక్కడికి రావాలి. So C is my final stable point. But before coming to final stable point, ఇక్కడ ఏదైతే యాక్సిలరేషన్ జరిగిందో దాన్ని డీసెలరేట్ చేయడానికి కోసం కొంచెం ముందరికి వెళ్తుంది, మళ్ళీ వస్తుంది. బిఫోర్ ఫైనల్లీ సెటిలింగ్ డౌన్ అట్ E. Now, fault జరిగింది. So this is initial point A, this is B, C, finally moving ahead up to this point. Now, if you carefully see, I'll take it as this is delta 1, this is delta naught, this is delta 2. If you want to have a maximum value, then you can go up to here also. This is delta max, okay? If you want, you can go up to here also. But I do prefer only up to this value. I feel that there is a limitation on the maximum value. So I'm settling down here. Okay? So in this case, what are A1 and A2? See, this is acceleration region. This is deceleration. Acceleration region lo mechanical curve edra idi. Electrical curve edra idi. So this is my A1. Deceleration region lo what is my electrical curve? This. And what is my mechanical curve? This. So this is A2. This is A1. Now, how to write these equations now? How to write these equations? It is very simple to write these equations. We have done in the last class also. What is the best way of writing these equations then? A1 is equal to integral of delta naught to delta 1. Mechanical power is P1, but electrical power is this one, right? So I will mention it for you as P1 and P2. So this is P1 sine delta, and A2 is equal to integral of delta 1 to delta 2. This is again P1 itself, P2 sine delta minus mechanical power. This is the way how we are going to solve this problem. So you can equate A1 and A2, and then you will be getting the value of critical angle. Okay. Now we will take one more case if possible. Okay. So let's see what is the case if we will check one more case. Okay, there is a generator which is again delivering your load using two circuit lines. This is line L1, this is line L2. ఈసారి ఫాల్ట్ ఎక్కడ జరిగింది అన్న అంటే ఫాల్ట్ మిడిల్ ఆఫ్ ద లైన్ ట్రాన్స్మిషన్ లైన్లో జరిగింది. ఫాల్ట్ ఇక్కడ జరిగింది. సో ఈ సిచ్యువేషన్లో చూడండి, సీ హౌ వర్క్ దిస్ సిచ్యువేషన్. ఫాల్ట్ ఇక్కడ జరిగినప్పుడు ఆటోమేటిక్ ఏమైంది అంటే నాన్న సిస్టమ్ ప్రీ ఫాల్ట్ కండిషన్. ప్రీ ఫాల్ట్ కండిషన్లో ఎట్లా ఉంటుంది రా? ప్రీ ఫాల్ట్ కండిషన్లో బోత్ ద లైన్స్ ఆర్ ఆపరేటింగ్ వెరీ హ్యాపీలీ. సో దాన్ని నేను P1 అనుకుంటాను. ఓకేనా? డ్యూరింగ్ ఫాల్ట్ ఏమవుతుందిరా, ఈ లైన్ నేను తీసేయలేదురా, ఈ లైన్ స్టిల్ ఇట్ ఈస్ వర్కింగ్. సో దీని రియాక్టెన్స్ ఎట్లా ఉంటుందంటే పై డైరెక్షన్లో షేర్ అవుతుంది. షేర్ అయ్యి you will be getting power will be transferred over this line and also this line also, but it will be very, very low. And what I am doing is, after some time, what I will be doing is, I will be clearing the fault. I will be clearing the fault. Sorry, ఇంతకు ముందు చిన్న మిస్టేక్ రా. Have I mentioned this one very clearly? Yeah. Fault and it is taken off from service. Yeah. This is the post fault condition. Okay. This is post fault condition after clearing fault. ఇక్కడ రాయలేదు కాబట్టి రాస్తున్నాను. సో ఫాల్ట్ జరిగింది నాన్న, తర్వాత ఫాల్ట్ క్లియర్ ఆఫ్ చేసేసి ఈ లైన్ తీసేసిన తర్వాత జరిగింది. ఓకే, బట్ ఇక్కడ చూడండి, ఫాల్ట్ జరగనంత వరకు రెండు లైన్లు ట్రాన్స్మిషన్ చేస్తున్నాయి. సో ఇట్స్ వాల్యూ విల్ బి హైయర్. ఫాల్ట్ క్లియర్ అయిన తర్వాత, ఫాల్ట్ జరిగిన తర్వాత ఆటోమేటిక్ ఏమవుతుంది రా, ఇది పవర్ ఇస్తూ ఉంటుంది, ఇది కూడా పవర్ ఇస్తూ ఉంటుంది. సో ప్రాబ్లం ఏంటంటే పవర్ విల్ బి ఇక్కడ నుంచి లోపలికి వెళ్ళిపోతుంది. సో లోడ్కి ఎక్కువ డెలివరీ కాదు. సో PE2, అజ్యూమింగ్ దట్ PE2 is the path. After clearing the fault, power మొత్తం ఇట్ అయిపోతుంది. I'll take it as PE. So from your observation, what can you say about this PE1, PE2 and PE3? In which case you will be getting maximum amount of power, guys? PE1 ఎక్కువ ఉంటుందా, PE2 ఎక్కువ ఉంటుందా, PE3 ఎక్కువ ఉంటుందా? సో PE1 రెండు లైన్స్ ఇస్తున్నాయి, 1 and 2. డ్యూరింగ్ ఫాల్ట్ ఏమవుతుందిరా, ఇది ఇస్తుంది, ఇదేమో గ్రౌండ్ లాగేస్తుంది, ఇక్కడ నుంచి కూడా లాగేస్తుంది. థర్డ్ కేసులో ఫాల్ట్ క్లియర్ చేసేసాను, ఈ లైనే తీసేసాను. సో ఆటోమేటిక్గా ఒకటే లైన్ నుంచి పవర్ వెళ్తుంది. సో ఇప్పుడు చెప్పండి, విచ్ వన్ విల్ బి హైయర్? PE1 will be defaultly higher because both of the lines are transmitting. PE2కి వచ్చేసరికి PE3 అంటున్నాను, PE3 is only one line is offering. PE2 అంటున్నాను డ్యూరింగ్ ఫాల్ట్, ఇది ఇవ్వకపోగా ఇది ఎట్లాగో ఇవ్వట్లేదు లోడ్కి, ఇందులో ఉండేదాన్ని కూడా ఇది లాగేస్తుంది. సో PE3 కంటే తక్కువ. దిస్ ఇస్ పోస్ట్ ఫాల్ట్, this is during fault, sir, this is pre-fault, this is during fault, and this is post-fault condition. See now how the figures will be. Mechanical power is same, this is mechanical power, okay. This is pre-fault, pre-fault will be very high because both the transmission lines are working perfectly. This is PE1. During fault, the power has dropped to a very extreme value, but still it was supplying a part of that. And post fault, these are my thoughts. See, this is pre-fault. This is during fault. This is fault cleared, this is post fault. అది కూడా నేను లైన్ని మళ్ళీ రెస్టోర్ చేయలేదు, ఈ లైన్ తీసేసాను, ఒక లైన్తో సరిపుచ్చుకుందాం అనుకుంటున్నాను. సో పోస్ట్ ఫాల్ట్ కండిషన్ ఏంటంటే నాన్న ఆపరేటింగ్ ఆన్ ఓన్లీ వన్ లైన్. సో 3 goes out there. Pre-fault with 2 lines. During fault, one line was operating, the other line was under short circuit condition at the middle of the line. And post fault, only one operating line was in service. So in this case, now నేను ఏమనుకుంటానంటే ఇనిషియల్ పాయింట్ ఇది, ఫాల్ట్ జరిగింది, ఫాల్ట్ జరగంగానే ఇమ్మీడియట్గా దేని మీదకి షిఫ్ట్ అవుతుందా, దీని మీదకి షిఫ్ట్ అవుతుందా, దీని మీదకి షిఫ్ట్ అవుతుందా? సో దీని మీదకి షిఫ్ట్ అవుతుంది, బికాజ్ ఎందుకంటే డ్యూరింగ్ ఫాల్ట్ కాబట్టి. సో ద పాయింట్ విల్ బి మూవింగ్ టు దిస్ వన్, దిస్ ఇస్ B, దిస్ ఇస్ B. ఫాల్ట్ ఉన్నంతసేపు పాయింట్ దీని మీదనే స్లోగా పెరుగుతూ ఉంటుంది. లెట్ us suppose after some time I have cleared the fault. C is the point where I am clearing the fault. Fault clear కాగానే post fault condition మీదకి జంప్ అవుతుంది, D, isn't it? So before finally it may move up to here or here up to here. I'll take up to maximum value E. So I'll take this one as maximum value E. Or here you can take E out. So I'm taking this one as E, C. ఇక్కడ దాకా వెళ్ళి డీసెలరేట్ అయ్యి మళ్ళీ ఫైనల్గా ఎక్కడికి వస్తుందో ఇక్కడికి వచ్చి సెటిల్ అవుతుంది. See, what is the acceleration time? This is acceleration and this is deceleration. See, I'm taking this one as delta naught. This one I'm taking it as critical clearing angle because I'm considering the maximum thing. And this is delta M. And this is delta M, maximum value. Okay. Now, after seeing this picture, can anybody say what is A1? See, what is A1 beta? This is the acceleration region. During acceleration region, what was the electrical curve? It was during fault, right? So this was electrical curve, this was the mechanical part. So the area will be like this. Deceleration time lo electrical curve edinana post fault kabatti this is electrical curve and this is mechanical curve. So the curve will be like this, isn't it? This is the curve and this is the one. This is A1, this is A2. Okay. Let's see if we can derive the expression for this critical clearing angle. We have done for a few cases in the last one. So we will try for this one now. So A1 ఏమొస్తుంది mechanical power minus this is curve number 2. A2 enter curve number 3 minus this one. Right. Let's see if we can derive an expression for this one. Okay. So A1 I am writing. A1 is delta naught to delta critical mechanical part minus T electrical second one. This was during fault, right? Sine delta d delta. What was A2? It was delta critical to delta M I am considering, which was T electrical third curve. See the difference here. Here I am considering during fault, I am considering electrical 2 curve. Post fault, I am considering electrical 3 curve. Okay. So equating this A1 and A2 now, I will integrate it here itself. Pm into delta Cr minus delta naught minus T electrical 2. This is cos delta naught minus cos delta Cr is equal to this T electrical 3 into cos delta Cr minus cos delta M minus this is Pm into delta M minus delta Cr. Now what I am going to do is I am going to take few approximations here. So initial curve వచ్చేసి P electrical 1 కదరా. So P electrical 1 ని నేను ఏం చేస్తానంటే I am taking this one as a standard curve. So Pm ఏమొస్తుందిరా? You see the curve. Pm is equal to P electrical 1 curve మీది నుంచి this is A, right? So delta naught value. So this is P electrical 1 curve into sine delta naught. అయితే నేను ఏం చేస్తానంటే P electrical 2 curve యొక్క maximum value ని R1 and R2. I'm just considering the ratios, okay? Some ratio, R2 and a ratio. So I'm going to substitute all these things here. And if possible, if you can see, this is delta M, right? Delta M is equal to C. ఏ దాంతో మీట్ అవ్వట్లేదు. ఇప్పుడు ఈ పాయింట్ తోటి కలిపితే పై అవుతుంది అనుకుంటే ఇది లేదు, రైట్? సో అందుకని డెల్టా ఎం ఏం చేయలేము, అట్లాగే వదిలేస్తున్నాను. ఓకేనా? దీంతో కావాలంటే ఈ పాయింట్ యాడ్ చేయాలి, బట్ నాకు ఇక్కడ వరకే ఉంది సార్. సో I don't have any relation between the angles delta 1, delta Cr and delta max, right? So what I can do now? Now you see, if I substitute these things, this is P electrical 1 into sine delta. So P electrical 1 into sine delta. అన్ని చోట్ల P electrical 1 అయితే వస్తుంది. సో అందుకని దాన్ని రాయట్లేదు మీరు. Sine delta naught minus this one will become R1 into cos delta naught minus cos delta Cr is equal to this is R2 into cos delta Cr minus cos delta M minus this one will become sine delta naught into delta M minus delta Cr. So if I want, I can add these two things, right? So what will this become? This is sine delta naught into delta M minus delta naught is equal to R1 cos delta naught minus cos delta CR R2 cos delta CR minus cos delta. From this equation, I can know what is R1 and R2. R1 and R2 can be obtained from figure. ఇప్పుడు ఈ ఫిగర్లో చూడండి, రెండు ట్రాన్స్మిషన్ లైన్స్ ఉన్నాయి ఇనిషియల్గా. ఒక్కటి తీసేసాను పోస్ట్ ఫాల్ట్, ఒకటే లైన్ ఉంది. సో డిఫాల్ట్గా ఎలక్ట్రికల్ పవర్ 3 ఏమవుతుందో, వాట్ ఈస్ ద రేషియో ఆఫ్ ఎలక్ట్రికల్ పవర్ 3 టు ఎలక్ట్రికల్ పవర్ 1? ఇట్ ఈస్ 0.5. ప్రాబ్లం ఎక్కడ వస్తుందంటే ఎలక్ట్రికల్ పవర్ 2 దగ్గర వస్తుంది. సో హౌ టు సాల్వ్ దిస్ వన్? That we can do with the help of the reactances. I think you know star delta transformation. You can do that. If possible, we will do a problem. Okay. So now in this one, R1 and R2 can be obtained from the figure. Delta naught will be given for you. మీకు కావాల్సిందంటే delta CR కావాలి. But there is another term, if you see delta M is there, which you don't have any relation, isn't it? So delta M ఎట్లా రావాలి? So if you can carefully observe in this figure, the E point, this value is equal to this value, isn't it? So can I write this value is P electrical 1 into sin delta naught is equal to, this point is దేని మీద కర్వ్ రైటింగ్? P electrical 3 ఇది అవునా? P electrical 3 into sin delta. So what is P electrical 3? P electrical 1 into R2, right? సో దీన్ని కావాల్సి నేను ఏమని రాసినా, సైన్ డెల్టా నాట్ ఈజ్ ఈక్వల్ టు R2 సైన్ డెల్టా. మీ దగ్గర R2 ఉంది, డెల్టా నాట్ ఉంది, సో డెల్టా ఎం నీకు వస్తుంది. ఆ డెల్టా ఎం ఇక్కడ సబ్స్టిట్యూట్ చేసి, సో డెల్టా నాట్ ఉంది, R1 ఉంది, R2 ఉంది, సో యూ కెన్ ఈజీలీ కంప్యూట్ డెల్టా. దిస్ ఇస్ ద వే హౌ టు డిటర్మైన్ critical clearing angle. Okay, hope you have understood how to determine the critical clearing angle for different conditions. I will be asking different conditions in the examination. As an electrical engineer, you are supposed to solve any such sort of conditions and obtain the critical clearing angle. Okay. Now, sir, critical clearing angle cheptaru. How to compute the critical clearing time? How to compute the critical clearing time? We will employ the swing equation. Okay. So I hope it is visible now. Critical clearing time. It is often referred to as delta C. How to compute critical clearing time? Okay. Sorry, this is referred to as TC. How to compute TC from critical clearing angle? In some textbooks, it is represented as TCR, critical clearing time, from critical clearing angle. See how we can compute this. So from swing equation, we do have m into d square delta by dt square is equal to accelerating power. This was the expression which we had for swing equation for accelerating power, which gave us the relation between the net power and the change of angle. Now we are going to employ this particular equation for determining the critical clearing time. So let's see how we can derive this one from the swing equation. Now we have done it already during the problems. Now what I'm going to do is this, I'll take it as PA by M. Okay, this is PA by M. Now PA is accelerating power. No? I'll write it here for you. It's PM minus P. Okay. So now I'm gonna multiply both sides with 2 delta by dt. So I'm gonna use this one. and integrate it with respect to delta. So integrate it with respect to time. So if I integrate it with respect to time, what you will be getting here, d delta by dt. Isn't it? Here I will be getting 2PA into d delta. This is what I will be getting. 2PA by m d delta. This is what I will be getting if I do it. So now this is d delta by dt. This is 2PA by m and so you solve this one. You know what is accelerating power. You know what is moment of inertia. So you solve this one. You will be getting delta in terms of t. You know what is already what is the value of delta, right? So from that you can compute what is the value of t. This t is going to be a critical clearing time. Critical clearing time. Hope you have understood. Critical clearing angle. Once you know the critical clearing this one. We are asking problems on both critical clearing angle and also critical clearing time also. So an inquiry first regarding this critical clearing angle, critical clearing time, applying equal area criterion for these things. Since the strength is very, very low. So I'll upload the material of unit number 4 to your poster. You can go through these things. And any more queries from any one of you regarding unit number 4? In unit number 4, I think all the topics have been discussed. There are only few left. One is what we have dealt so far in unit number 4. We have gone through swing equations. We have gone through types of stability, steady state, transient, dynamic stability. We have gone through all these things. We have also gone through steady state stability and natural frequency oscillations, damping frequency of oscillation. Isn't it? And we have also computed steady state stability limit, SSL. And we have also gone through equal area criterion, and we have employed equal area criterion for different case studies. And we have computed delta critical and also critical clearing time. So this is what we have completed so far. Still pending is step-by-step solution of string equation. This is an algorithm. So if possible, I'll upload the material for this one also. This is one thing which is generally employed to determine the time, critical clearing time. This is one thing. And factors affecting, what are the various factors which do affect the steady state stability and transient stability? So factors affecting stability and methods to improve stability. This is a theory question which I'll upload the notes for this one. And see, guys, problems are there in string equation, in steady state stability, natural frequency of oscillation, damped frequency of oscillation, computation of critical clearing angle, critical clearing time. And in the external examination also, one theory will be at understand level, the other one will be at the apply level, which means problem will be there, 6 and 6, or 6 and 6. This is also will be at the same level. Even in short answers also, 3 short answers, 3 1-mark questions from unit number 4. One will be at remember level, one will be at understand level, one will be at apply level. So one problem will be there. Here also 2 problems will be there. So I hope you will be keeping concentration on doing the problems. Tomorrow there will be a last class on PSOC where we will try to solve the problems on equal area criterion. And if possible, I'll briefly explain these 2 methods. Okay. So thank you for joining, guys. If you don't have any queries, you can leave now.